The situations portrayed in this program are very dangerous. They have been performed by trained professionals in order to replicate worst-case scenarios of real-life hazards. Viewers should not, under any circumstances, attempt to replicate any of the situations presented in the program. Every year, millions of North Americans use chainsaws and weed trimmers to beat back the plant life growing in their own backyards. But more than 45,000 of them inflict life-threatening injuries to themselves in the process. But which power tool is more likely to cost an inexperienced gardener a trip to the emergency room? To find out, Dan and Brendan are using legs of lamb to stand in for human flesh.
Seriously?
It's my weed cutter.
This is a chainsaw.
Yeah, what? Do you want to be in front of this thing?
Before this, yes.
You're saying that your chainsaw is more dangerous than my weed trimmer?
100% am saying that my chainsaw is more dangerous than that.
A chainsaw engine turns a chain of steel teeth around a guide bar and is designed to saw through any type of wood at around 9,000 RPM. A weed trimmer employs a drive shaft to spin thick nylon strings at speeds of up to 7,000 RPM. A common DIY landscaping solution to make these more durable is to install a steel cable. Exactly what Dan has done to his.
Gentlemen, stir your engine. And cut the meat.
The average consumer chainsaw has at least 2 to 3 teeth per inch and 14 inches of chain. Right now, the chainsaw is outcutting the weed trimmer by a factor of 20.
What's that?
Come on, it made a pretty good dent.
It did make a pretty good dent. That wins.
Clearly, Brendan won that one. The teeth on the chainsaw just sawed through, and the weed cutter barely made a dent.
Let me make one modification. I got one idea.
All right, do I get to make a modification too?
Sure, deal.
Done.
Brendan and Dan are trying to find out which gardening tool is worse for your health. A chainsaw or a weed trimmer? Dan's weed trimmer didn't stand a chance against Brendan's chainsaw, but Dan has an idea of how to make his tool more lethal. A circular saw blade, used for thicker shrubs instead of dandelions. Not to be outdone, Brendan is replacing gasoline with aviation fuel to make his saw run faster. It's like adding octane booster to your car's gas tank. It's a risky move that could burn out his engine.
We're rigging the modified chainsaw and weed cutter to the seesaws you see behind me.
No meat this time. Now they'll test their tool's power against something neither were designed to take on: a concrete cinder block.
Your chainsaw is gonna burn out way early. I'm gonna be cutting through this baby like it's butter.
I really don't think so. The teeth are gonna disappear on that in seconds.
That thing will keep going and keep chewing all day.
I really don't think so.
Gonna leave you in the dust.
Brendan, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Dan, are you ready?
I'm ready.
In 3, 2, 1, drop!
By using an 8-inch circular blade, Dan's weed trimmer has almost as many teeth as Brendan's chainsaw, and the tools are now cutting at virtually the same rate. But the thicker blade on Brendan's chainsaw is jamming up in the concrete, putting stress on the supercharged motor. If it keeps getting stuck, it could easily burn out. And just as Brendan's chainsaw starts to smoke, Dan's circular blade breaks through.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a winner!
Dan's weed trimmer had the power to beat Brendan's chainsaw all along. It just didn't have the right blade. And if it could do this to solid concrete, just think what it could do to your arm.
Dan absolutely made it through 100% before that chainsaw.
Yeah, cutting through cinder block. That's a new one.
I think the losers today are those cinder blocks.
I agree.
Both of our teeth got dull really quick, but that didn't actually matter, because eventually the friction of what was left was grinding away at those cinder blocks, and that's how we got through. You gotta admit, that modification was pretty sick.
If I had to play with a weed cutter, that's the weed cutter I'd like to play with. I still like my chainsaw.
Of course, we all know that power tools aren't things to be taken lightly.